The Dog That Wouldn't Sit 2. Chapter 1 by DJ Cowdall. It was the first day back at the house for Champion, rightfully owned and kept by his new owner, Ethel. Of course, Champion had no idea he was newly owned, and if he did, he would very likely have objected and gone for a very long walk, again. Ethel walked into the living room from her kitchen, holding onto a small piece of meat. Her fluffy slippers shuffled against the carpet as she walked, making her wary as she moved. She knew the last thing she needed was a fall, especially with a new dog to care for. It was an unusual feeling, knowing she had to look out for another in her home. She had been alone since her husband had passed, but it seemed an interminable amount of time since, and struggled with how she felt over such a large change in her life. As she sat on the sofa, she gently placed a piece of dried meat onto the small table beside her, pushing the lamp away enough so that neither would fall. She looked up across the room to see Champion laid near the window, looking up at her, clearly excited. "Well, I guess you want some of this, but you're going to have to sit up and give me a paw. If you don't give me a paw, you don't get a treat. Understood?" Ethel asked, quite insistent. She felt determined that her rules would be obeyed without fail, and just because he was a dog didn't give him an excuse to be a slacker. Ethel waited patiently, looking at him as he didn't move. She knew very well how stubborn he was, but knew she could match him wit for wit, and would. "You can sit there all day for all I care, but you're not getting a treat without earning it," Ethel said, speaking loudly and clearly as if she had a patient audience, and not a dog that didn't speak English. She had all the time in the world. There was no rush. She would just sit there and look at him all day if necessary. There would only be one loser. 3 minutes later the wall clock struck, signifying 2 o'clock, enough for her patience to wear out. Ethel stared at Champion, giving him her most serious, definitely must mean it look. "Come on, just give me a paw. Get your treat," she said, feeling exasperated. Finally she sat back on the sofa, feeling more determined than ever that she would win the battle of wills. She was resolute. He simply would not win. Taking the piece of meat, Ethel held it out, as if her arm were a fishing rod and she might tempt him to approach, unable to stop himself from taking the bait. In the last moment, as his drooling chops were about to sink into the delicacy, she would snatch it away and demand a paw. Nothing happened. "Champion, will you please come here?" Ethel said, but still nothing. Breathing out heavily, she felt increasingly frustrated. Still, it was war, and though she might be losing the battle, she knew she would win, eventually. "Champion," Ethel said again, loudly, as she looked on, wondering if that really was his name. She looked around as if looking to the heavens for sympathy and guidance. As she looked to her side, she noticed something moving, finally realizing that her new dog was standing right beside the sofa, staring at her, a bewildered look on his face. Ethel quickly looked towards the large living room window, wondering who the other dog sat underneath was. Fumbling around, she picked up her glasses sitting beside the meat on the table and placed them on her face. Everything became clear as she realized she was looking at a brown footstool and had been trying to tempt it into taking a treat from her. She looked back at Champion, wondering if he knew she had been trying to get a paw from a footstool. His response came the moment it dawned on her just what she was doing, as he lifted his paw right up. Not so much as a "can I have a treat," as a high five for the laugh he was enjoying at her expense. He had only been in the house 24 hours, and it was already 1-0 to the dog, and they both knew it.